Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chauke. Good morning, Nebato. You are our special guest, that's why I greet you specifically, and the general greetings to everybody. A very good morning to you, Advocate Mushamunyani. We understand that you were able to solve some of the challenges that we encountered yesterday afternoon with regard to the record, and progress is being made. Am I correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Welcome back, Senior Counsel Nkabinde.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for excusing me.
Yes, thank you. Advocate Hale, we noted your apology this morning. Thank you. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Advocate Patohe, when we adjourned yesterday, you were dealing with paragraph 145.
Before you proceed, my sister just reminds me to remind you that you are still under oath. I've long forgotten to be in the trial court.
I am reminded. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We were dealing with paragraph 145 on pages 60 and 61 when we adjourned yesterday. Now, as far as paragraph 45 is concerned,
Please speak loud. I can hardly hear you, sir.
I'll try my best. As far as paragraph 145 is concerned, you are giving a brief overview. Can you proceed and do that?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just to emphasize that I am giving a brief overview so that the inquiry can understand, but of course there will be other witnesses who will testify as to the specifics. Chairperson, as I mentioned yesterday, perhaps I'll start off with Boyson launching an application, which I understand is early in 2013, but we'll confirm the date, in which he sought to review and set aside the racketeering certificates that were issued by the previous national director, the acting national director at the time.
Paragraph 145.
145.
145, that's when he launched the application, is that so?
That's correct. He alleged that after he had received the indictment, he had requested JIBA to make available all documents on which the state had intended to rely. In response to that request, 23 dockets were made available to him. And of these 23 dockets, he said he was mentioned in only 2 of them. In these 2 dockets, he stated that he's mentioned in the statements of 2 witnesses. Sorry, in one of the 2 dockets. Both witnesses stated he arrived on the scene of the shooting in a helicopter after the event. In respect of the second docket, the witness, according to him, states that he noticed Boyson on the scene of the shooting after it had taken place. In response to this application, JIBA deposed to an answering affidavit. This affidavit was, according to Advocate Chauke, finalized by him. Now, his confirmation of this will be found in the GCB proceedings, which is footnoted footnote
111.
111, which is part of the bundle and is referred to in the footnote. So, Chairperson, in her answering affidavit and in response to Boyson's assertion that no state...
Before you proceed, I would like you to go to that paragraph you are referring the panel to. It's contained in ZC bundle named ZC1. And I direct your attention, Madam Chair and Madam Baloi Mere, as well as Madam Ramaha, to ZCC1 bundle. ZC1 bundle. Do you have it in front of you, Advocate Batoyi?
I do, yes.
Now go to page 164.
Yes, I'm there.
I beg your pardon, go to page 56 rather, 56. ZC 56, my apologies.
Yes, 56 is a portion of, if we could identify 56.
Now go to paragraph 211 on that page.
Mm-hmm.
Read paragraph 211 into the record.
Perhaps I should I not read 210 first? I'll read 210 first, and it follows after that. Following the consultation, the prosecution team agreed that Advocate Chauke, as the DPP in charge of this matter, would be the liaison person between Advocate Holders SC team and the prosecution team, and would provide the Holders SC team with all the facts and evidence in the dockets necessary from the prosecution team to prepare an answering affidavit to be deposed to by myself on behalf of the NPA. I refer the court to the confirmatory affidavit of Advocate Chauke filed herewith. And that is, if we could go to the confirmatory affidavit, which is on page 164.
ZC1.
And that is an affidavit by Advocate Chauke confirming that he is read on paragraph 3, which is on page
165.
165. I have read the founding affidavit of Nomkobo Jiba and the first respondent in these proceedings, and I confirm the correctness insofar as they relate to me.
That's 00165.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Because there are two numberings in these documents. So you should refer to us whether it's the bolded ones, the bolded numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the bolded numbers that you are referring us to?
The electronic one, Chair.
I don't know which one is electronic, which one is not.
ZC,
Yes.
the bolded one.
The bolded ones.
Yes.
Well,
The page here will be ZC 001-165. Council?
that,
Did you
That-
say 165?
that is correct, Chairperson.
165.
But it starts on 164. On ZC 00164, Madam Chair.
It's a confirmatory affidavit of Mr. Chauke.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes, thank you.
Now proceed.
Before you proceed, in your main affidavit, at paragraph 146, you say this affidavit Jiba's affidavit was finalized by Advocate Chauke. And what you've referred us to in page 00165, if I'm not mistaken, it's a confirmatory affidavit. Aren't those two things different, or am I misreading it? A confirmatory and finalizing.
Advocate Patohi, maybe we should assist you to enable you to answer the question. Refer back to ZC1, bundle ZC1 on pages, bolded page ZC 00056, where you will find Jiba's answering affidavit.
I see it, Chairperson. It's the portion that I had read into the record a short while ago. Should I read, perhaps to answer that, I should refer the honorable panel member to paragraph 210. Maybe I should read the whole thing in again. Following the consultation, the prosecution team, the prosecution team agreed that Advocate Chauke, as the DPP in charge of this matter, would be the liaison person between HODA's SC team and the prosecution team, and would provide the HODA's SC team with all the facts and evidence in the dockets necessary from the prosecution team to prepare an answering affidavit to be deposed to by myself on behalf of the NPA. So in essence, Advocate Chauke is confirming that aspect of Advocate Jiba's answering affidavit.
In ZC1.
211, 210. So I'll read 211 after that. The HODA's team then prepared the answering affidavit.
Before you proceed, I think, Council, we must deal with what my sister is asking at paragraph 146 of Council's affidavit.
I'm dealing with that now, Chairperson.
You're dealing with it.
It is in paragraph 211. The HODA's SC team then prepared the answering affidavit, which was finalized by Advocate Chauke and which I signed. And Advocate Chauke confirms that in his affidavit.
211 is what?
It's ZC, it's the first ZC bundle ZC1, ZC00056. It is the answering affidavit of Advocate Jiba,
Yes.
which was deposed to in these proceedings.
Thank you, Chair.
You may proceed, sir. I'll look at it.
May I inquire as to whether Madam Baloyi Mere has been answered? Advocate Patohi, you may proceed.
Sorry, let me get my train of thought back.
Yes.
So Advocate Jiba deposes to an answering affidavit in these proceedings, which Boyson has brought, seeking to review and set aside the racketeering certificates. In paragraph 147 of her in her answering affidavit, referring to paragraph 147 of my affidavit, and response to Boyson's assertion that no statements in the dockets implicated him, Jiba sets out, and it's paragraph in paragraph 147, paragraph 16 is from Advocate Jiba's answering affidavit, and it's quoted right through to paragraph 17 of my affidavit. It sets out why, in her view, she considered that there was a prima facie case in this matter, and I'm not going to read that verbatim, but I then proceed to paragraph 17 of my affidavit. Particular reference is made in her statement is made to statements that were made by Colonel Ayer, Mr. Danikas, Mr. Ndlonro, from which it is apparent that the applicant is well aware of the information that the respondents have in their possession relating to the murder of at least 23 people and the monetary and non-monetary awards claimed by him. And in this regard, copies of these statements are attached to my affidavit.
You're referring to as the
Mr. Mhleng, I'm really sorry, and I apologize to interrupt you, but I'd like to ask you a question, and it's not out of disrespect. I see that you often refer the witness to a specific paragraph, but the witness would go somewhere else, and maybe you should rein your witness in, and so that we are able to follow, because you are lost where she's reading, we are lost, we don't know where she is. If we can have that synergy and work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
I apologize if I've been the cause of any confusion, Chairperson. I will take guidance from my counsel, from the evidence leader.
You are now dealing with Advocate Batohi, paragraph 17 of Jiba's affidavit, which you set out on page 63, not so?
That is correct.
And you mentioned that there are statements which are attached to your affidavit,
That is correct.
and they are marked collectively as B1,
That is correct.
which is NJ2, NJ3, and NJ4, N5.
That is so.
Let me draw your attention, therefore, to your bundle on page SB1 small b 088.
I am there.
That statement is a statement of Rajendran Sanjeev Iyer. Can you
That's
confirm
correct.
that? The next one, which is marked SB1C 091 NJ3, it's a statement of Aris Danikas.
That is correct.
The next one is SB1D 097 with its original marking as NJ4, and it's a statement of Rajendran Sanjeev Iyer.
That's correct.
This Iyer, who was a colonel in the subs, is the same Iyer who deposed to a statement in SB 1B on page 088. I
Yes,
refer
that
to the
appears
same
to be the
person.
case.
Now, SB 5, NJ 5 rather, which is marked SB 11 in your bundle with its original marking as NJ 5. It's on
You say
page,
SB 11.
yes, SB 11 277. This is one of the statements you're referring to, which is that of Dlondlo. Peking goes in Tiani Dlondlo. Page SB 11 277. With its original marking as NJ5.
Is it of Lord?
That's the statement of Dlondlo, Madam Chair. In fact, there may have been a misspelling of his surname because it appears in paragraph 17 as Ndlondlo. But then on the affidavit itself, it appears as Dlondlo. Have you seen that? You
I
confirm
have
that that is a statement that you are referring to.
Yes, the statement that's
Yes.
attached to my affidavit.
You don't necessarily have to read those statements. It's not necessary. Proceed then to paragraph 149, because 148 deals with SB1. SB1 is a
Yes.
collective
Understood.
marking of these 4 affidavits. Proceed.
Thank you. So, Boyson attacked these allegations in his replying affidavit. The essence of his reply in respect of the 4 statements, which was attached by Advocate Jiba to her state affidavit in support of her decision to prosecute him for racketeering, was this. 2 were statements by Colonel Ayer. They did not implicate him in any of the offenses indicated in the charge sheet. And the second statement of Ayer was only deposed to on 31st August 2012, approximately 2 weeks after Advocate Jiba had issued the racketeering certificates. She could accordingly not have relied upon it, according to Boyson, as she claimed in her affidavit to have done to reach her decision. In the third statement, according to Boyson, purported to be that of Danikas, was not a sworn statement and was not signed by anyone. It was not dated. And further, the events described in the document did not cover the period dealt with in the indictment, except for one event which did not relate to Boyson. The 4th statement, he says, was that of Ndlondlo, which did not implicate Boyson in any of the offenses in question.
Hold it there. Let me take you back to SB1B, the statement of Ayer on page 088.
Yes, I'm there.
If you go to page 090, where the statement ends, at the bottom there we see a signature, which is probably of Colonel Ayer, dated the 3rd of August. Do you see that?
I do.
Now, go to Colonel Ayer's second statement, which you refer to in paragraph 149.1, which is dated 31 August 2012.
What's the page number, Counsel?
The page number is SB, SB1D. It starts from 097. The specific page there is 102. SB1D 102.
I'm there.
It has been commissioned before a commissioner of oaths, and there are dates there. One is handwritten, 31 August 2012, and there's one which is typed. It was deposed to in Durban. Do you see that?
Yeah.
You confirm that the date is August 2012.
The date is indeed 31 August 2012.
Okay. You may proceed. Let's proceed to Danika's statement, which is SB1C 091. Do you see that? It's on page
Yes,
0.
I see it.
Go to the last page.
It will be helpful if you can refer to them as marked. You can mention the name and then refer to the marked, the name of that document, NJ3.
NJ3 is the original marking. I thought perhaps I'll start with the SB1C and then go to the NJ3. It's NJ3, which is the original marking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see
As per
that?
Advocate Jiba's affidavit.
Yes.
That's correct.
Go to page 096. There's a line there, and then at the end of the line, under the commissioner's portion, the commissioners of oath portion, deponent signature, there appears deponent signature. Is there any signature there?
No. It's unsigned statement.
Let's go to the Ndlondo statement, SB 11. The original marking is NJ5. Is it signed?
You just refer me to the page number, please.
Go to page 277, NJ5, SB 11. It starts at 277. It ends at 282. Is it signed? Can you confirm whether it is signed or not? On page 282, I see there's a signature there. It appears to be.
Yes, there appears to be a signature.
It appears to be a signature.
Is it 282 or 283?
There's one on 282, Madam Chair. And on 280, it's a different document. SB 11 282.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the document at it is SB 12.
SB 12 is a different document.
283.
It's a different document.
Yes, thank
Yes, it doesn't relate to this affidavit.
SB 11 ends at 282.
Indeed, Madam Chair.
Yes.
And there appears to be a signature underneath there. Looks like it's Mtian if one reads it properly.
That's correct. It appears on
Yes.
all the pages of SB 11 at the bottom.
Now, let us proceed. Advocate Batohi, go to page 64.
Council, I beg your pardon. Is this document, the last one you have referred to, is it commissioned?
Let me just check. SB 11.
Because that document ends at 282 with that name, Mtiani. What is it? What does it say there? Is Is it properly commissioned, this document, this statement?
Where is this statement? Where is it?
I'm struggling with
On
the,
in 282, Madam Chair.
yes, 282.
Yeah, on page 282, my Leonard Jr. directs my attention to a sentence that starts with "I certify" towards the bottom there after a signature.
Please read it for me. I'm struggling with the signature.
The signature appears to be Mtiani, something like B Mtiani or something.
No. Just read, I certify, if you can
It
read
says-
that, commissioning.
I certify that the deponent has acknowledged that he knows and understands the content of this statement. This statement is shown before me, and the deponent signature was placed there in my presence at Richards Bay. Appears to be Richards Bay, and I can't read that part, on 31. It appears to be 31/7, July 2012 at 21:54. 54. And the deponent signature, Madam Chair, appears above. Yeah, there's a cross there, but there's a note there that appears to be a signature, but there's a cross there above there.
And the commissioning,
Which one?
where is the signature of the commissioner of oaths there? You would ordinarily, if I am correct, Council, have at least a commissioner of oaths date stamp there. So I don't see any date stamp. I don't see his signature. I don't see his name, that is the commissioner of oaths.
There is no date stamp. All what appears on this statement is an X mark, and after the X mark, there is a signature which appears to be Mtiani.
But Mutiani is the deponent, isn't it? Who is
The deponent is Dlondlo.
His names are Bekinkosi Mtiani.
Dlondlo.
So this Mtiani would ordinarily refer to the deponent because that's his middle name.
Yes, possibly.
See, I'm confused there because you have that middle name, Mtiani,
Yes.
and that seems to be the deponent.
It seems to be the deponent, Madam Chair.
Now I'm asking you, Council, where is the dates, the stamp of the commissioner of oaths, or who is the commissioner there? Yeah. Where do I find that this document has been properly commissioned?
It appears not to have been properly commissioned at face value, because it says here in paragraph 14, I know and understand the content of this statement, where after one would expect that there will be a signature of the deponent.
He must be talking to the commissioner of oaths there. He must be talking to the commissioner of oaths
Yes.
there, or at least in
Yes.
front of him or her.
Yes. Yes. And then the next, there's a statement there that say, I certify. And the person who says, I certify, we expect that that person should be a commissioner of oaths. And at the bottom, there's a signature there, which says Mtiani. It looks like Mtiani.
Council, one would expect that the commissioner would have said, I, so and so, certify that the deponent has acknowledged and at the end, even if he doesn't have a date stamp, because I suspect this was done at the airport, because it seems like it's Richards Bay Airport. Maybe they didn't have a date stamp, but they should have had their name. And if you look at this whole affidavit, there is a common thread. This Mtiani signed every page, the deponent. He put Mtiani on every page, which there is nothing wrong with that, but the only problem is the commission of oath. This is not proper commissioning.
Madam Baloimere, this is how it was, what it is. It is what it is.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll have then to repeat. I say, as one looks at this document, it appears as though there's a missing page, because it's written right up to the bottom. And if there is no other lines for one to write, one would then have to turn over. I'm just talking about possibilities. What we have here, it's a document that we can just say it's a declaration. That does not show to have been attested. So I'm saying, is it not possible? You know, at times when you copy documents, you do this and that, you find that some page or two go missing. And the appropriate thing would be to go back and check as to whether is there no such possibility.
Madam Chair, if I could, I don't know if I'm going to help or make it worse, but our version does have the commissioner's certificate, which we got from the evidence leader. For some reason, when they copied theirs, they missed that page.
Saying, it means we must get that page. I don't have it. We don't have it. So please, let's have a copy of that document so that the record is complete.
I'll see to it that it is accessed.
You would know, legally speaking, why we're inquiring about that the commissioning of that statement.
Indeed, Madam
So
Chair.
it is important to have that last document. Thank you. Thank you. Advocate Andrew.
Let us go back to the body of the affidavit, Advocate Patohi. You were dealing with paragraph 149, and you were done dealing with it. Leap over to 150.
So given the contents of the four statements that have just been referred to, in his replying affidavit, Boyson invited Advocate Jiba to file a further affidavit to explain how she could have taken into account information on oath that objectively did not exist at the time of taking the decision. You recall that there's one unsigned statement and there's one statement that is signed 2 weeks after the certificates are authorized. Advocate Jiba did not file a further affidavit. However, Advocate Chauke did provide Advocate Hodes SC with a memorandum setting out a response to Boyson's replying affidavit. And a copy of the memorandum is attached, SB2.
Go to SB2, Advocate Patohi, on page 111, the bolded ones.
And reference is made to SB2 in paragraph 150 of Advocate Batoi's affidavit.
Yes, Madam Chair. Are you on page 111?
Yes, I am.
And SB2 is at which page?
SB2 111. It's an internal memorandum. It was directed to Lawrence Holders SC from the Katomana prosecution team. Director of Public Prosecutions, South Gauteng High Court, Johannesburg. Can you confirm that?
That is correct.
And the date is 15 August 2013.
That is so.
Now, are you in a position to explain where this memorandum emanated, where it comes from? Because you're saying it comes from Advocate Chauke, but we see here it's the Katomana prosecution team. And the Director of Public Prosecutions, South Gauteng High Court.
Yes. We have to refer to another document. Which is, Chairperson, I'm trying to make sure that there's no confusion. And it's not clear in my affidavit, it's not set out, but there is another document in another bundle that refers to this. It's Jiba's answering affidavit in the GCB proceedings that one needs to look at.
But for the moment, let's park that. Go to page 131 of the same document.
Of which document?
SB2. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. My apologies.
STs. If it is SB2 111, let it be.
Go to SB2 131.
Yes, I'm there.
It says there, kind regards, Katomana prosecution team,
That is so.
Director of Public Prosecutions,
Yes. indeed.
Johannesburg.
Yes, that is so.
Is that of any significance? If you see on page 111, SB2, where it comes from, and kind
Yes.
regards, Katomana prosecution team, Director of Public Prosecutions. Is there anything of significance?
Well, it's clear that the team was working under the authority of the DPP Johannesburg.
Let's proceed then. Proceed to the next paragraph, 151.
So the judge in this review application, Govan J, in his judgment was critical of Jiba, and there's a reference to a footnote there. Apart from the passage quoted from her affidavit above, Govan J noted that Jiba did not otherwise contest Boyson's version that none of the statements in the docket implicated him. The learned judge concluded that, and I quote, the impugned decisions were arbitrary, offend the principle of legality, and therefore the rule of law, and were unconstitutional. Since there was no material which was considered by Jiba on which to rationally authorize a prosecution of Boyson, the just and equitable consequence was to review the impugned decisions and set them aside. And that was where the review, so these decisions were set aside by the Govan judgment, Jiba's authorization to issue the racketeering certificate.
Sorry, maybe before you continue for completeness, can we get the date on which the racketeering certificates were issued or signed? Because there is a contention that one of the affidavit was signed after the certificates, but I seem to remember the date of the signing of the racketeering certificates.
May I help in that regard, Madam Baloi Mere? If you go back to paragraph 144, Advocate Batohi,
Page 60.
says, yes, 17 August. Is that the date on which Jiba signed the racketeering certificates?
Yes, that's correct. 17 August 2012.
Continue to 152.
Advocate Sean Abrahams was appointed the National Director on 18 June 2015, and he issued fresh racketeering certificates for the prosecution of Boyson and members of the Serious and Violent Crimes Unit on 13 February 2016.
Proceed.
Pardon, before you proceed, Counsel, the memorandum SB 2111, that page is from the National Prosecution Team, Director of Public Prosecutions, South Gauteng High Court. Does it suggest, just by its mere mention of Director of Public Prosecutions, South Gauteng High Court, Johannesburg, does it suggest that it was from Advocate Chauke, or should we infer that it was from him? Because I don't see any signature of Advocate Chauke here or his name, or should we infer that it is him who wrote the memo?
It can be inferred because there's no signature. For now, let it be inferred. May I take instructions? May I confer? Because
You may just take instructions. You can confer with counsel.
thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity. I've taken instructions and reference should be made to the documents referred to earlier.
It will be helpful if you can speak louder, counsel. Some of us hearing aids are giving us problems.
Indeed, I'll try my best. I thought I should not shout, but I need to raise my voice a bit.
You may lift your mic.
Yeah, well, maybe I should.
Maybe I should. Yeah. Reference should be made to bundle C ZC1 on page ZC 00056, wherein Jiba's answering affidavit appears. Specifically, 210 is relevant. It has already been read into the record, and it says, following the consultation, the prosecution team agreed that Advocate Chauke, as the DPP in charge of this matter, would be the liaison person between Advocate Hode's SC team and the prosecution team, and would provide the Hode's SC team with all the facts and evidence in the dockets necessary from the prosecution team to prepare an answering affidavit. And then that suggests, therefore, that it was Advocate Chauke with the prosecution team that prepared this document to Lawrence Hodes.
Yes, thank you. You may proceed.
Let's go back, Advocate Patohi, to the paragraphs. You were dealing with paragraph 152, not so?
Yes, I was. So just, I think I should maybe clarify something, Chairperson. To be clear, it's the suggestion is that the team prepared it, but Advocate Chauke would have handed it over as the liaison person to Advocate Hodes. There's no evidence. My understanding at the moment is that Advocate Chauke himself prepared this document. I want to be clear about that, Chairperson. Thank you. If I may proceed. Chairperson, after the, I'm now at paragraph 153. After the appointment, well, Advocate Abrams was appointed in June 2015. As I said, he issued fresh racketeering certificates on the 13th of February 2016. When I took office in 2019, February, 1st of February, this was one of the matters that I needed to deal with, as it had received a lot of attention in the public space. It was also a matter that was the subject of the Mohoro Commission that had been put in place to look into the fitness to hold office of Advocate Muhebi and Jiba. And so when I assumed office, and Chairperson, I want to state at this point that paragraph 153 is a bit, I should say, lean in terms of detail, because when we prepared this affidavit, I didn't go into the detail of what the circumstances were when I requested this report to be prepared. But given the questions yesterday, I went and to try to see what exactly the position was when I requested the de Kock and his team to look into the authorizations. And what emerged from that is that at the time, there was the litigation. Boyson had brought litigation to, in fact, review the certificate authorized by Advocate Abrams, Sean Abrams. And as the new national director, I needed to decide what was the position of the NPA going to be in that litigation. And as a result of that, I appointed this panel to assist me to look into this matter. And the panel did its work. I've attached a copy of the report dated 27 June 2019. as SB3, and as a result of that, we withdrew the opposition to the review process that Boyson had instituted.
Go to SB3, Advocate Batohi, which is on page SB3 132. It starts on page SB3 132.
Yes, I am.
Which page?
Annexure SB3. And
SB3.
yes, Annexure SB3 to the papers, to the affidavit. It is an internal memorandum
That is correct.
addressed to you
That is so.
from these advocates here. Can you list them?
Yes, it's
Just name them.
from the panel that I had appointed to look into this matter. It was chaired by Advocate R.J. de Kock. He was Deputy National Director of Public Prosecutions and the head of the NPS business unit in the NPA. Sadly, he passed away in January this year. The second panel member is Advocate Ivy Tenga. She is currently the Director of Public Prosecutions and was also at the time the DPP in Limpopo. The third is Advocate S. Riley, who is a Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions. And I understand the coordinator of the organized crime section in the Director of Public Prosecutions Office in Western Cape. And the last one is Advocate E.R. Mamabolo, who sadly also passed away. He was working at the time at the NPA head office in what we refer to as a racketeering desk. So the racketeering desk at the NPA is where colleagues deal with all racketeering requests for racketeering authorizations of a national director. Given that in terms of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act, it's the NDPP that authorizes these racketeering prosecutions. There is a desk in the head office that manages all the racketeering requests for racketeering. And Advocate Mamabolo was at that time working at that desk. And given his experience as well in racketeering matters, he was also included on the team, on the panel.
Go to Annexure SB 12 to
Yeah.
it.
Maybe before you go there, I just need some clarity. From the evidence that you have just given now, it appears that Advocate Mamabolo was roped into this panel by virtue of his sort of expertise in the racketeering environment. Is it correct?
That is correct.
And Advocate Tenga, what specialty, if at all, was he or she bringing?
Let me explain. Advocate, I'll deal with Advocate Tenga. She is the DPP of Limpopo, and of course, all DPPs, because racketeering authorizations are sent, a DPP will be the one that will recommend racketeering authorizations to the national director when they emanate from the division. So all DPPs have experience with racketeering applications. She was also brought in because we needed a very senior member. We were dealing with a national director's authorization. So she was brought in because of seniority and her expertise in dealing with racketeering referrals or applications. Advocate Riley is the head of the organized crime unit, and she has experience and expertise in racketeering because a lot of the racketeering matters emanate from the organized crime environment. And Advocate R.J. de Kock was the Deputy National Director of Public Prosecutions at the time. Was he? Actually, he wasn't. Let me rethink this, because he was still the DPP in the Western Cape. My apologies. This happened in 2019. So he was also a DPP. He was later appointed Deputy National Director in 2021. So at the time, he was also a DPP. So both of them would have had experience with dealing with racketeering matters as DPPs who recommend to the National Director on whether to authorize or not.
Right, thank you. I would appreciate that when I ask a question, you answer the asked questions.
My apologies, I was trying to help.
Not anticipated questions, because at times one would not be going in that direction. Now, the issue that you appointed this panel to attend to is an issue that relates to the NDPP.
That's correct.
And it is, of course, common cause that all these panelists are people whose office was below the NDPP's office.
That is correct.
And in actual fact, the panel is constituted of people who are either deputy NDPPs or even directors.
Not a deputy NDPP, DPPs.
Okay. DPPs. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
You may proceed, Advocate Mhlamanyana.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Advocate Patohi, go to page SB 12, Annexure SB 12, page 283 of your bundle. It's the last page of the memorandum, the internal memorandum from the team.
I see that.
The signature that appears on top there is that of Advocate de Kock.
That is correct.
They made recommendations, not so.
That is correct.
Which recommendations are on page SB 3228? Under column F.
That is correct.
Be kind enough to read the recommendations that were made to you into the record.
From paragraph F, recommendations, the following recommendations are made. 1, the racketeering authorizations issued in terms of Section 2.4 of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act of 1998 by the acting NDPP, Advocate Jiba, on 17 August 2012 is invalid. The racketeering authorizations issued in terms of Sections 2.4 of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act 121 of 1998 by the NDPP Advocate S. Abrams on the 16th of February 2016 is invalid. The prosecution instituted against all the accused on the racketeering charges based on the authorizations issued by the acting NDPP N. Jiba and NDPP and the NDPP S. Abrams, as set out above, should be withdrawn. The Director of Public Prosecutions, KwaZulu-Natal, should, in compliance with the prosecution policy of the National Prosecuting Authority, review the evidence in respect of the remaining charges preferred against the accused and decide whether or not to proceed with the prosecution against the individual accused named in those charges. 5, a copy of this memorandum and its annexures should be provided to the DPP KZN.
Fine, let's go back to the body of the affidavit now, where we were on page 65.
Chairperson, if I just can mention that the last page of SB3 is missing from the original, and that's been filed by way of a supplementary affidavit, which is now SB12 at page 283. So this last page was subsequently filed. Thank you, Chairperson.
What is the significance of item 5 of the recommendation?
If I can just be directed to the page again, I have been.
It is
As-
that line that says a copy of this memorandum and its annexures should be provided to the DPP KZN. What is the significance of
Sure.
that?
Chairperson, this matter had emanated from the Director of Public Prosecutions, KwaZulu-Natal, who had jurisdiction to deal with this matter. The panel was therefore directing or recommending, not directing, recommending to the National Director that if I could just be referred to the page, I flipped through so that I can.
SB3
Yes.
228.
Oh, thank you. It's just one.
That-
Thank you. Yes. So the panel was recommending that a copy of this memorandum and annexures should be sent to the DPP that has jurisdiction in this matter, so that she could actually consider, as you look at paragraph 4, their recommendation was that she should review the evidence in respect of the remaining charges preferred against the accused and decide whether or not to prosecute in respect of the individual accused persons. So I suppose they had, in their view, they thought it would be useful for the DPP of KZN to have a copy of this, their report and the annexures.
Thank you for that.
As a follow-up. As a follow-up, should we assume that the team that drafted the memorandum at SB1F, page 109, that dealt with, SB2 111, that dealt with what the information required in reply for the review application. Should we assume that this team had been disbanded at this time, such that this memorandum was only sent to the DPP KwaZulu-Natal? What would have happened to this team that is at SB2 111?
Thank you. The prosecutors that were part of this team, I did direct that they return to their offices where they were stationed. One was from the Northwest, and there were a few from Johannesburg. I cannot recall the precise date on this, on when this was done. So it would have been sometime, it was definitely sometime in 2019, a couple of months after I took office, but I can't remember. So the team was certainly disbanded and sent back to their DPP offices where they had been stationed.
Thank you.
Right. Did you act on the recommendations that appear on this SB3?
Thank you. I think my affidavit does deal with that. So it actually is not comprehensive. So the first thing I did as a result of these recommendations are that I withdrew the NPA's opposition to the Boyson review application that was pending at that time. So I withdrew the opposition, and then I don't have documentation. I'm speaking from memory, and I stand to be corrected. But I did, I think there's a letter that I sent to Advocate Zungu that should be attached, but I then did withdraw. I hope I have the right term because I don't have my documents in front of me. The racketeering certificates that were authorized by the previous national directors, and then withdrew the opposition. So in essence, that's what I did. I then sent a letter to the DPP in KZN, and
That you are dealing
is on
with, Advocate
154.
Batoy, sorry to intercept you, that you are
Yes.
dealing with in paragraph 154.
Yes, thank you, Council. On the 16th of July, I wrote to the acting DPP KZN, Advocate Zungu at the time, now Advocate Harrison, who is now a permanently appointed DPP, and requested that she evaluates the evidence and makes a decision in respect of each of the dockets and decide whether or not to prosecute any individuals on those dockets. As I mentioned in my statement, given the possible impact on the decision to withdraw on the families of the deceased, I urged her to contact the next of kin and to explain the implications of the decision. She considered all the matters in paragraph 155 of my affidavit and declined to prosecute in all of them except for one. That matter proceeded to trial and the accused were acquitted. That's correct.
Your answer is yes, I acted on the recommendations.
That is correct.
When you acted on the recommendations, had you satisfied yourself about the reliability of these recommendations?
I certainly had every confidence in the team that I'd appointed. They did a very, very comprehensive process, which they set out in their report, and I was satisfied that I could rely on their recommendation.
Did you satisfy yourself by looking at the documents that served before them in order to make a decision? Because the panel just makes recommendations. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you.
That's correct.
So what steps did you take to satisfy yourself that you could live with the recommendations and actually it would be apt to implement them?
I looked at their report and they had certain annexures that was attached to the report. I can't recall what those annexures were, but they are referred to in the report. And on my confidence in the ability and expertise of the panel, their report and annexures.
So it will be correct to understand your answer to be that you relied on the report in its entirety and the trust that you have in the panel members' expertise.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Proceed, sir.
Go back to paragraph 154, Advocate Patohi, and let's go to SB4. It's on page 229. The letter you wrote to Advocate Izungu at the time. This is the letter that you referred to earlier.
That is correct.
Go to paragraph 4 on page 230 and read it into the record.
In respect of the predicate offences as set out in the indictment, the panel concluded that there are various challenges with the evidence and the investigations in respect of each docket. In this regard, you are referred to paragraph C, D, E of the report. You are accordingly requested to evaluate the evidence in each docket and decide whether to prosecute the individuals who may be implicated in those matters. I bring to your attention that the panel also found that there is insufficient evidence against General Boyson in respect of other charges preferred against him. Please take this into account in your evaluation of the evidence against him in respect of those predicate offences in which he is charged.
Read paragraph 5 into the record.
As discussed with you, please contact with the next of kin of the deceased persons and explain the implications of my decision. It is important for them to know that the withdrawal of the racketeering charges does not mean that there will be no justice for victims of crimes. You will be considering whether there is sufficient evidence to charge any persons for other offences, including murder.
Okay, let's go back to the body of the affidavit and proceed with.
Before you go back, just to satisfy my curiosity, why did you specifically in that paragraph 4 single out General Boyson when it seems like you have then submitted the whole report of the panel and its findings? Why specifically in that paragraph single out General Boyson?
I'm trying to cast myself back to that point. And I'm just reading the paragraph to understand the context, which might help me.
If you can just go to the sentence that starts with "you are according," because you tell Advocate Zungu that you can evaluate the evidence in each docket and decide whether to prosecute the individuals or not. And you are correct. That is the DPP's discretion whether to prosecute or not. But you take it further and say, I bring to your attention that the panel found that there is insufficient evidence against General Boyson in respect of other charges. Why specifically single him out?
I'm not sure. It may have been because he had brought the review application. I'm not sure. Perhaps that was the reason, is because he was the one that was the applicant in the review applications. Thank you.
To assist you, Advocate Patohi, perhaps to answer the question, go to paragraph 3 of SB4 of the same document, SB4 on page 229. Paragraph 3, the last sentence there starts with, after careful consideration of the report and other relevant material. and the recommendation of the panel. Isn't it that the panel had made certain recommendations about the racketeering certificates?
That is correct.
What were their recommendations?
If you could direct me to the page.
The recommendations appear on page SB 3228. We dealt with earlier.
The recommendations specifically with regard to the racketeering authorizations are 1 and 2 of paragraph F. The following recommendations are made. The racketeering authorizations issued in terms of Section 2.4 of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act 121 of 1998 by the acting, NDPP, Advocate Jiba on the 17th or on 17 August 2012 is invalid. The racketeering authorizations issued in terms of Section 2.4 of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act 121 of 1998 by the NDPP, Advocate S. Abrams on 16 February 2016 is invalid. And I suppose 3 also is relevant. The prosecution instituted against all the accused on the racketeering charges based on the authorizations issued by the acting NDPP Njiba and NDPP S. Abrams, as set out above, should be withdrawn.
Has that anything to do with General Poison? These recommendations that you have just alluded to.
They included him. He was one of the accused in the matter and was facing racketeering charges.
It follows why he made an application to review the decision authorizing the certificates, isn't it? Proceed, Counsel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Go back to the body of the affidavit. We dealt with 155, you dealt with 155, and proceed from 156, where you deal with the essence of the allegations against Advocate Chauke.
Yes. So the essence of the allegations against Advocate Chauke is that whilst being the DPP, of South Gauteng, he assumed de facto role of the DPP in the prosecution of alleged crimes committed in KwaZulu-Natal, over which he had no jurisdiction. The acting DPP of KwaZulu-Natal at the time, Advocate Simpiwe Cyril Malochwa, and later Advocate Moipone Noko, had jurisdiction over these crimes.
Hold it there. You make reference in this paragraph to a footnote 115,
Yes.
where you refer to Advocate Chauke's confirmatory affidavit in General Counsel of the Bar of South Africa versus Jiva and others,
That's correct.
which has been filed in the record under Bundle Zondo Commission. Now, I want to take you to the bundle itself that contains this confirmatory affidavit. Go to ZC1.
Yes.
Go to page 164, ZC00164.
Yes.
Therein, you will find a confirmatory affidavit of Andrew Chauke. Is that the affidavit you are referring to?
Yes, that is correct.
Go to the next page, where this affidavit ends, on page 165, ZC 00165.
Mhm.
Can you read into the record paragraph 3?
So this is a confirmatory affidavit of Advocate Chauke at paragraph 3. I have read the founding affidavit of Nomkobo Jiba, the first respondent in these proceedings, and I confirm the correctness of its contents insofar as they relate to me.
Is he referring to the same affidavit that we referred to earlier?
Which
Answering affidavit of Jiba, Madam Chair.
In the GCB proceedings.
Yes. Which is contained in ZC 1 on page 56 in paragraph 210. He's
That is
confirming.
correct.
You may proceed.
The
156.2.
Yes, the next, the essence of the allegation against Advocate Chauke is that he exercised or purported to exercise prosecutorial powers and functions in circumstances where he had no authority to do so and no such powers. Should I proceed?
Proceed, yes.
1563, he undermined or attempted to undermine the authority of the acting DPP of KwaZulu-Natal. Should I proceed to the end, Council?
Proceed to the end, yes.
And he settled the affidavit of Advocate Jiba, and allegations contained in Advocate Jiba's affidavit were found to be false, and as such, he made himself party to these false allegations.
Before you go to Mdluli, I'd like to ask some questions in relation to paragraph 156, but you can proceed so that I don't disturb your line of thinking.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Advocate Batohi, go to ZC2, which is Zondo Commission bundle.
ZC2.
Bundle, are you referring to, Council? Volume 2.
Yes, volume 2, ZC2.
Sorry, which is a document, Council? I'm trying to find.
Can
I don't know if I have this. I'm not sure that I have the document that Council's referring to with me.
Would you please ask your junior to assist, Advocate Baturi? May I just maybe read on the face of this bundle the documents that are contained, but very quickly. It's the answering affidavit of Mr. Boysons, that of Ms. Mlocho, Jiba GCB, answering affidavit Jiba, confirmatory affidavit of Chauke, answering affidavit of Jiba. The list goes on, it's quite long. I'm not sure whether we should read that. Which one are you referring to?
I am referring to Advocate Chauke's affidavit. Starts on page 000243. ZC2.
ZC2
000243.
affidavit of Mayor. Because that affidavit commences from ZCC 00229 to ZCC 0243. That is the affidavit of Advocate Mayor. Are you looking for the confirmatory affidavit of Chauke?
No, I'm looking for the affidavit which he deposed to in the State Capture Commission.
Who?
Advocate Chauke.
We have his confirmatory affidavit before the Zondo Commission. I'm not aware of any other affidavit, a founding affidavit by Advocate Chauke before the Zondo Commission.
Well, it's my mistake. I'm informed that it is actually in LO
Yes.
243.
Your pardon, Council?
I've been advised that it is not ZC2. It's my mistake, and I apologize for that. It's actually in LO1.
LO is the legal
Legal
opinion.
opinions, yes.
LO1.
LO1, Madam Chair. LO1 243 00243.
That annexure B, Advocate Chauke, affidavit SCC.
It's actually a witness statement. It's written here as witness statement. Advocate Patohi, do you have a copy?
I do, yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the confusion. I refer you to specifically to page 00266, paragraph 60 there.
And this affidavit or witness statement would have been placed before the Zondo Commission.
That is so, Madam Chair. Advocate Batohi, maybe to confirm what Madam Chair has just raised, go back to page 243, LO 00243.
Yes.
On top there, can you read what stands there?
Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption, and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state.
And then this was an application of INRE, read that into the record.
Application of Keshla Masenyane Andrew Chauke, the applicant, for condoning the late filing of the affidavit, and the application for leave to cross-examine General Johan Boyson and Cyril Simpiwe Mlochwa in brackets, in terms of Rule 11.2, Redwood Rule 3.3.6 of the rules governing proceedings of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption, and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state, in brackets, the rules of commission.
Now, direct your attention to.
It is not clear to me why this affidavit is placed in the bundle of legal opinions. Do you have an idea why?
I do not have an idea, Madam Chair.
I can try to help, Chairperson.
Let counsel answer first. You may confer with your junior. I see she's talking to you.
My instructions are, this was a document contained in Dr. Broughton's supplementary opinion, legal opinion, which he drafted for the National Director of Public Prosecutions. It accompanied the opinion of Dr. Broughton. Go to paragraph 60, Advocate Batohi, on page 00266, LO1 00266.
I'm there.
Can you read?
Give me the page.
It's LO 00266.
0226.
266.
266.
Would you read paragraph 60 into the record?
Jiba requested me to assist with putting together a prosecution team which will guide members of the police and members of IPID, in brackets, the Cato Manor team, on the investigation and prosecution of the matters. I agreed to be the coordinator of the prosecution team. The prosecution team was comprised of the following advocates: Advocate S. Maema, DDPP, in brackets, team leader, Maema; Advocate K.R. Mtenjwa, DDPP, co-team leader, Matenjwa; Senior State Advocate M. Nhlakaza; Senior State Advocate J.J. Malochwa; Senior State Advocate F. Fuchane; Senior State Advocate P. Moleko. That's the team.
Go to the next page, LO 002. Go to the next page, LO 00267, and read paragraph 62 into the record.
My role as team coordinator was deal with logistics and administrative matters of the prosecution team. Ensuring coordination between the various stakeholders. My involvement excluded taking prosecutorial decision whether to prosecute or not. Feedback and briefing on the team to Jiba including the submission of documentation from prosecution team to the NDPP.
Madam Chair, may I take a moment to confer with my junior? Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me take you back to bundle ZC1, page 0056, to which references be made earlier.
Yes, I'm there.
Paragraph 210, page ZC0056. Paragraph 210, Madam Chair. You remember earlier on you mentioned, and you read this into the record, where Jiba says, Advocate Chauke as the DPP in charge of this matter.
That's correct.
Now, how does it relate to him being a coordinator? Are you in a position to explain that?
Well, clearly what this was reflecting is that the DPP in whose area of jurisdiction the matter was not in charge of this matter. That's the KZN DPP. But the DPP in Johannesburg was in charge of this matter. And Council will no doubt take me through aspects of the evidence which will demonstrate that Advocate Chauke was in fact the de facto DPP in this matter, without the legal authority.
I don't understand the answer. Would you please repeat the answer?
Chairperson, I was saying that what this means is that Advocate Chauke was the DPP in charge of this matter. And firstly, that meant that the DPP in KwaZulu-Natal,
In charge of this matter.
that is correct, Chairperson.
What matter?
Chairperson, this particular matter related to the review proceedings that Boyson had brought. Let me just make sure I get this right. to review the authorizations, the racketeering authorizations by the acting national director, Chiba. So let me get my thoughts right, Chairperson. There was a team was set in place to look into or to investigate, prosecute, work with the police to put together, maybe I'm using the wrong term, but to investigate and prosecute racketeering charges against the Serious and Violent Crimes Unit of the police. And Advocate Chauke was, as we say, in charge of the team, the prosecution team that was put together to deal with this matter.
As a liaison DPP for the purpose
As
of this case.
Chairperson, as the DPP in charge of this matter, who would be the liaison person between holders and the team. So the liaison aspect relates only to the liaison between holders SC and the team. Holders SC had been briefed to deal with, I'm not sure if it's just the appeal or other aspects of the litigation as well.
Proceed. I'll revert back to that question, I think, later. Thank you.
I want to refer you to LO3,
What page?
page 780. On page 780, you will find an application for authorization. LO3. Are you there?
Yes,
Advocate
I am.
Batohi? Can you explain this document?
This is an application for authorization, as the subject line says, in terms of Section 2(4) of the POCA Act, that is short form for Prevention of Organized Crime Act, 121 of 1998, in the State versus Boyson, Johan Wessel and others. It is a memorandum on the Director of Public Prosecutions, KwaZulu-Natal letterhead. It is addressed to Advocate Njiba as the National Director of Public Prosecutions. It is from Advocate M. Noko Mashilo, Acting DPP of KwaZulu-Natal, dated 15 August 2012. Paragraph 1 states herewith the following: application for authority in terms of Section 2(4) of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act of 1998 for your consideration and approval. 1.2, the proposed indictment. 1.3, the draft authorizations for Section 21E and 21F respectively. I have perused the documents and recommend the application. The accused have appeared in the Regional Court Durban, and the matter has been postponed to 24 August 2012 for racketeering authorization. 18 of the accused persons are on bail, and 12 other accused persons were added to the charge sheet. It has the signature of Advocate Chauke above Advocate Noko Mashilo, acting DPP KwaZulu-Natal, but signed by Advocate Chauke.
Now,
Counsel, just allow me, I don't want to disrupt your line of leading evidence. When Advocate Nkabinde dealt with his opening address, I postponed this question in relation to the terms of reference. If that can be cleared, because we may find ourselves being all over the show without necessarily directing ourselves to the very key issues that are reflected in the terms of reference. When you look at paragraph 3 of the gazetted terms of reference, reference is made to the fitness of Advocate Chauke to hold office, and this inquiry has to inquire into those aspects that are referred to in paragraph 3.1 in the subparagraphs and 3.2. For our purpose, under this rubric, the Boyson's matter or Katomena matter, we have to make an assessment regarding 3.1. Now, in 3.1, it is alleged that it is his direct or indirect conduct and his propriety to hold office based on information, including but not limited to those aspects, including in 3.1.1, the institution of the racketeering charges. Are you going to deal with these concepts, his direct or indirect conduct, by placing clear evidence before us so that we don't find ourselves looking all over the show?
We will, Madam Chair. We will place evidence, as you are seeking to do now, place evidence before this panel.
Yes,
Yes.
I suggest we do this. And yes, sir. As you deal with this evidence, if you can assist us, that you are now addressing a specific aspect of the terms of reference, it will certainly help us, because we have individual paragraphs and subparagraphs that deals with different allegations leveled against Advocate Chauke. And I would assume that as we move with this hearing, we will know precisely the relevance of each and every piece of evidence in relation to this terms of reference, or at least these allegations that are leveled against him, Advocate Chauke.
I hear you.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I do, Madam Chair.
I interrupted you, but I think this will be an appropriate time to take a tea break. And you'll take it from where we left, bearing in mind what I have just mentioned to you, Council. Thank you, Council. When we adjourned, I referred to the terms of reference as gazetted. And I thought that to guide all of us as to where we are going, we should actually be using these terms and characterizing the issues as per the terms and know what we are addressing. Council, that may be helpful to you and to your team as we proceed. Of course, I cannot dictate how you should proceed, but I thought that is the best way, so that these terms will guide us to which evidence we should look at as we are going along. Also for the purpose of those people who have not had a sight of the terms or even the record itself. I'll pause there.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You may proceed.
I have considered what Madam Chair has advised me on, and at the moment, I seem to lose track of certain issues that I need to put before this tribunal. And I'm putting forward an application that the matter be adjourned so that I can put myself together and be able to marshal these proceedings in the best way possible.
Council, just lift up your mic, please. Up a little bit.
Up a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm saying I'm mindful of the fact that we have to proceed with the matter and try to cover mileage. But I'm asking the panel to give me more time and to put myself together, and because I'm losing certain track of certain documents that are important, which need to be placed before this tribunal. If you can give me time until Monday, and then we will proceed.
Perhaps let's start from where I began and ended, because we have different ways of presenting evidence. We have different styles of advocacy in our advocacy training. So once we have the terms, I think if you agree, for instance, if you agree that your evidence should be guided by the terms, that will assist us not to be all over the show and to have pertinent bundles or documents in relation to each and every
Aspect.
Characterized issue. In other words, if you characterize the issues as per the terms of reference, you will know which evidence will be or is relevant to those aspects that you would have characterized.
Indeed. I fully agree with you, Madam Chair. That is why I'm a little derailed, because that was not my line of dealing with it. But I take it. Now I request time in order for me to be able to say we are now dealing with paragraph, for instance, 3 or paragraph 2 of the terms of reference. And it gives me a bit of a challenge at this moment to be able to say this relates to paragraph 3.1, 3.1.1. However, even though it says but not limited to matters related to these allegations, I need to be particular going forward, unfortunately. And I know my request may not go down well with the panel, but this is a situation I find myself in.
Suppose you have discussed this matter with your team, Advocate Haley and the Junior. Are you comfortable to proceed on the approach, your approach, at least until 1 o'clock, so that we can make progress? Alternatively, if you think this proposed approach will make it easier for you to pattern or to fashion your evidence, then we can talk. You have the two options: to proceed the way you have on your own approach, alternatively to adjourn and you try to pattern your evidence following the terms of reference, characterizing the issues in line with the terms, then presenting evidence.
I take it, Madam Chair, that it will be appropriate as advised in order to contextualize the evidence of Advocate Batohi within the terms of reference to take that line.
Advocate Mhlamunyane, I suppose you've discussed this as a team and you are all agreeable on the proposed approach.
Yes, as a team, we are agreeable, but I must confess, I omitted to alert my learned colleagues,
No,
the Chauke team.
I'm talking about your team.
Yes, we discussed it.
You discussed it.
Indeed, Madam Chair, we did.
Advocate Nkabinde, you remember right at the outset of your opening address, I took you straight to the terms of reference. And I said, I'm tempted to ask you questions on these aspects. But I immediately cautioned myself and I thought it was unfair to you and your client to be expected to answer these very questions that I've drawn to the attention of counsel, Advocate Mhlamunyane. It is for that reason that I thought that in any trial you are guided by the issues. You are guided by the terms of reference here. And if you go step by step using the terms of reference, we would be in a position to gather ourselves to gather the pertinent evidence that is relevant to each and every aspect of the terms. Then we won't find ourselves paging through looking for documents the way we've been doing. It's going to make it even more difficult for us when we prepare the report, because we're trying to patch as if you are cutting and pasting. But it should be easy to have a patent or a properly structured evidence in line with the terms, because the issues are already there in the terms of reference. So I think we should consider that, but let me hear from you, from your side, if you have anything to say. I know this is not a matter on your table in the sense that it's not your issue.
No, Madam Chair, if we can get an early break, we would appreciate it.
Council, this is not about an early break. We have to work, and if we, as we work as a team, it will also help you on the very same terms, because I asked you that question right at the beginning and I withdrew it. But I think it will help all of us in our respective duties to make sure that we have the evidence or the facts, because we are on a fact-finding mission here. And we will make a determination on all those facts, for or against. And so it's not about adjourning early because it is Friday.
Madam Chair, I do have something else. If we have no objection to the postponement request for Monday, just to record that. We have one more request. We have received the Section 41(6) authorizations that we had requested, which we are grateful for. But we've now got another witness who is an employee of the NPA, for which we will be making a request. And I assume it would be speedily attended to Advocate Matendra. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Have you made the request already?
No, we want to just highlight that because we would have difficulties approaching Ms. Batohi outside of the proceedings now that she has started giving evidence.
I suppose through you, Counsel, Advocate Mutlamiyani, through you, I suppose this request will be addressed with the witness.
It will be addressed, Madam Chair.
And Advocate Batohi, you hear?
Yes,
what the request
Chairperson.
is.
We'll have it. We don't even need a request. We have the template. We'll add Advocate Matendra's name and submit one today. They'll get it today.
Yes, thank you, Advocate Mutlamiyani. We are minded to granting you the indulgence, but would like to take an adjournment and reflect probably on other matters that we might want to bring to the attention of the parties. And after this break, which will probably be a 30 minutes break, then we will reconvene
Thank you, Madam.
and consider your, or rather grant your request.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We'll take a 30 minutes break and reconvene after 30 minutes. Let's say we'll reconvene at 12:30. Good afternoon, Council. When we
Good afternoon.
adjourned, we needed to look into several matters that we thought we should bring to your attention. We subsequently sent our researchers to you with some items that we thought you should reflect upon and indicate whether they have been complied with, in particular, matters that were referred into the agreement that was made the order or directive. There are other matters that have been raised, which we believe you have discussed or you will discuss in due course, so that by next week, all those matters should have been dealt with. I take that you have agreed amongst yourselves and how those matters will be addressed. In particular, we wish to impress upon the NPA that when you file of record, please make sure that you file documents that are properly paginated. Some of the documents that were filed, apparently today, in compliance with the agreement, have not been paginated. I'm told so. I'm not reopening, I'm just giving an example, because our clerks looks into the computer and they realize that you complied, but the documents are not properly paginated, those dockets, among others. I suppose that because you have now looked into those matters and have agreed, by Monday, you should be ready, Advocate Mutlamuyane, adopting the approach that we have suggested to you, so that you can have a well-structured evidence. And we should not be going back and forth by next week, because we are running now more behind schedule. Advocate Batoi has been here now for a week, and she has to come back. So let's try to get our house in order and assist one another. Is there anything that you'd like to draw to our attention other than what we are mentioning to you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Perhaps I should bring to your attention that it was not my understanding that when I comply in terms of the agreement between us and the Chauke team, that would constitute part of the record. Because those documents were requested by the Chauke team. And in my understanding, they should not have formed part. They should not form part of the record. They requested those documents for their own purposes. That's how I understood it.
Are you referring to those
Dockets. Yes. In compliance with the agreement, my understanding was we're exchanging documents with them, and those documents need not have been filed. That's how I understood it. Just to hand documents to the Chauke team.
I don't understand.
They requested documents from the NPA, from the evidence leader in particular. The NPA made those documents available, but those documents will not talk to anything. They were requested by the Chauke team. And I understood it not to be part of the record.
Let me just clarify something. The documents that we are talking about are the dockets, or some of the dockets. Am I correct?
You are correct, Madam Chair.
Now, we know that your record, Advocate Batoi's affidavit, refers to those dockets. They may not be relevant for your purpose, but they are part and parcel of this record that we have, because we know that reference has been made to a number of dockets, which we may also want to look at because you refer to them. Or rather, your documents refer to them.
It does, but on a high level. May I indicate this? May I respond in this fashion? There will be a witness who will talk to the docket, and not Advocate Patohi. Although Advocate Patohi has referred to the docket, but there will be a witness who will directly deal with a specific.
It has now happened that somebody, it could have been me saying, where are those dockets? Remember, we are in a fact-finding mission here. We are not in a criminal case. We are in a fact-finding mission. So when you talk about documents in the affidavit, and somebody says, where are those dockets? It's appropriate that the NPA should provide those dockets. And when they do, they must file them appropriately. That's what we are saying to you.
I hear you, Madam Chair. All what I'm trying to explain, perhaps I'm not being clearer. Perhaps I'm not. These dockets will be made part of the record at the time we deem appropriate, because then that witness will talk to the documents.
Advocate Mutlamanyane, the documents were made part of the agreement of the order, correct? Those documents, they are part of that order that we issued. Am I correct?
You are correct, Madam Chair.
So I don't understand where it is this back and forth, because those documents must be placed as part of the record. They're part of the order of the court. So the party that is supposed to file those documents must file them appropriately. That's all that we are saying to you. Whether you are going to use them or not, but those documents will be before us as we are trying to find facts. I'm not sure whether I make myself clearer. Going back and forth is taking us back to the issue of roles. What is our role?
Madam Chair, I'm not sure, without interrupting, if I could be of some assistance. With respect, I think I agree with you. Any document, if it gets put onto the record, it ought to, the entire bundle needs to be paginated and indexed. That's what is our understanding. I'm not sure why it was placed onto the record formally so that you can see it, but without seeing an index or pagination. Can I give an undertaking that we will attend to that? I discovered this particular problem, that there was a lack of pagination and a lack of an index yesterday. We will give an undertaking that we will attend to it. So I agree with your understanding of how matters get placed onto the record.
Thank you, Advocate Haley. And NPA team, we hope that that will be the case. Thank you very much for that.
Madam Commissioner, if I could raise another matter, if you don't mind. I just want to make it clear, lest it be misunderstood. The evidence leader, and I'm not part of the evidence leaders team, nor is my junior, Ms. Lekgato. She is part of my team. Understand that understand that Madam Chairperson is putting that, using that as a shorthand. But I do think that it's important to place it on record, lest there be a misconception. The evidence leader decides how he's going to read the case, and we will provide him with assistance as you've directed in the past. And we are more than willing to do so. But it's his choice as to which witnesses he calls, how he conducts the case, and so forth. It's not our choice. And we are not his, my junior is not his junior. She's my junior. His junior will be here on Monday, but for the time being, she's assisting him to find pages, find documents, and so forth. But we are part of the NPA team. We're not part of the evidence leaders team.
Yes, you will recall that when we had the private discussion, we discussed these matters at length because all of you belong to the NPA. You may be occupying different spaces. I'm saying that in the sense that Advocate Mutlamuyane cannot operate without the NPA. Otherwise, we won't be here.
I accept that.
And unfortunately, Advocate Halley, he is new in this matter. I think you have been in this matter in the sense that you provided an opinion. He's totally new in this matter. And for expediency, as I mentioned earlier, it will be proper that you work as a team.
Indeed.
And I do appreciate that you are not necessarily an evidence leader, but you work as a team to assist this inquiry. And we shouldn't be going back and forth the way we have done. And I think we have really given so much indulgences because things have not happened the way they ought to have happened. So I think in that spirit that we spoke about in chambers, that let us work towards a common goal. We are here to serve the country, to present evidence, to assist this inquiry. But if you go back and forth that this is not my space, we may just well all go home because we are not going to be enabled to do our work as an inquiry. What we have done thus far is to try to guide all of you the best way of reaching our goal as lawyers. That's all that we've been trying to do. And just to expedite the whole process without influencing or interfering with the manner in which you conduct your work. I still plead with all of you that let's work together towards the common goal and to ensure that we have all the material that we need. You know, in the High Court or in the Constitutional Court, in the SCA, you can't just dump documents before the judges. The same thing applies here. We have been trying to paginate and to assist in the pagination, and that's really not our work. But we have tried to do our bundles and to paginate them appropriately. So let's all work together to achieve that common goal. Advocate Mutlamuyane, I assume that your junior will be here by Monday.
Indeed, Madam Chair.
And despite the fact that you have your junior, Advocate Halley has a junior, I still expect that these two juniors will work together and that you will be able to sit together as a team and confer with one another.
We will, Madam Chair.
In that spirit of
yes.
collegiality.
Indeed.
Yes, thank you. In the event, we will postpone this matter or stand it down to Monday. What's the date on Monday? The 24th. Monday, I'm told, 24th of November. Monday, 24th November at 10 o'clock. And please let us start on time, 10 o'clock. Iron out all the issues that are outstanding. Over the weekend, these chambers, 28th and the 29th floors, are open to all of us. If you want to come and make copies or to sit in the chambers that have been allocated to you, you should feel free to do so. But Monday, we should proceed, please, without interruptions so that we can make progress. Thank you very much. We will adjourn until Monday, the 24th of November.